Hey everyone, welcome back to this Hyperia recreation. This is part 2 of the 3-part series. I say it's a 3-part, I'm thinking about maybe making it a 4-part series because, this video is already like triple the length of the previous part and it's only the supports. I plan to do the landscaping and the pathing. I still don't know how to say that word. Pathing, I don't know. In this episode. But the supports took way longer than I had planned they would, so it could be a 4-part series, depending on how long, the paths take me and how long the station takes me. I've still got to do I've got to do the lake, I've got to do the transfer track as well. I built the coaster for the transfer track, but I haven't done the building or anything like that. So it's either going to be a 4-part series or an extremely long part 3, but we'll see. Just to explain what I'm doing here, I'm doing the base of the lift hill, so that includes the stairs up to the catwalk, as well as the, chain lift mechanism at the bottom. I was going to do the chain lift mechanism at the top of the lift hill as well. It's like that, I don't know how to explain it, it's just like a little bridge beneath the peak of the lift hill, but I forgot to do it, so I'm going to have to do that next time. Hopefully I remember. But I should remember. Anyway, so this bit, I was struggling for a bit trying to find an actual image of the bottom of this lift hill. I ended up having to go back to Jack Silkstone's construction updates from 2 years ago. I remember watching them when they came out. I was so excited for this coaster to be built. But I went back to the one from 2 years ago when the lift hill was just starting to be built. It was the base of the lift hill went vertical or something. But also, I didn't realize just how much of the coaster was built before the lift hill. Because in my head, it was the lift hill was built, and then the next element that fully went up was the outer bank. I remember tons of people going on Monk's Walk to look at the outer bank, but I don't remember it being in the timeline that it was, but yeah. Anyways, oh yeah, well, while I'm building this lift hill thing, I just want to say thank you for anyone who watched the last video and anyone who's just subscribed. I'm pretty sure I'm on 7 subscribers, so it's not a lot, but thank you to anyone. I wasn't even expecting any, to be honest. I think it's I've got 40 views on the recent video. The short that I posted has about 2,000, but shorts usually get more views than regular videos, so yeah, I'm more impressed with the long video that anybody even watched that. But if you're watching this and you watched the last one, thank you for wanting to watch more as well. Also, this base of the lift hill thing, there's these pipes that come off the side of it that I tried to recreate, but I couldn't find a piece for that. They're electricity wires, and I didn't know what to use for that because the rope pieces aren't curved enough. They're too straight, so I couldn't actually figure out what to use. I'm not sure if I kept it in the time lapse. There was a moment where I was really struggling to find a piece, and then I just gave up. But yeah. Also, let me know if you think I should make the gears actually move and make a working lift hill. I could, because obviously the gears are already animated, so I deactivated them, but I could have them set for looping if I wanted. I had to move over the lift hill bit in this section because I realized I was building it in the wrong bit. Oh, also later on in the video, I'll point it out when it comes up, but I had to redo the pre-lift section, including where the station is. I had to move it because I was doing the supports for the Immelman, and the what's it called? The support structure for the Immelman was intersecting with the station, and when I looked in real life it wasn't at all, so I did something wrong there. But yeah, but this video took me way longer than I had hoped. I think it was this is on about 6 times speed or 7 times speed, I'm not actually sure. The total footage ended up being 5 hours. I split it up a bit, so these are all combined, but I did about 6 different screen recordings, and they all added together to reach 5 hours. Oh, here's me doing the transfer track. I used the Gerstlauer Infinity Coaster for the more simple track without the tri piece at the bottom, because both the extreme spinner and the regular Mac multi-launch coaster type don't have this track type for some reason, even though that's what's used on Hyperia, so I just had to do it this way. But yeah, that's what I'm doing here. I haven't supported these, nor have I done the building for them. I honestly don't even know if the transfer track's in the right place, but I'll sort that out next video. But what was I talking about? I think I was talking about the Immelmann supports. So yeah, they were intercepting with the station, so I had to move the station. And also, just the supports in general, like, it took way longer than I was expecting. Like, I was expecting this to be... Oh yeah, of course, because I was talking about, oh, it's a 5-hour footage. I thought I was going to be done with this in, like, 2 hours max. But this took so much longer. There's so many supports on this ride that you don't realize are actually even there until you build this in Planet Coaster. Because some of the support structures, like the supports for the Immelmann, if you want to call it an Immelmann, also some of the structure for that is also used to hold up the dive loop. And it's really interesting, actually, like how that works. Because I guess you don't really think about it, but like the dive loop doesn't really have its own support structure. It's just built up based on the support structure from the Immelmann and the support structure from the lift hill. So it's actually really interesting. When I was building this, I was like, oh, huh. I had to use a mix between the POV footage, the off-ride footage, and the construction plans. Originally, I was just going off construction plans, but then I watched an off-ride video, and I realized that actually some of the supports end up looking slightly different to what they were put down as on the construction plans, so I couldn't just solely rely on the construction plans. Also, you notice here I put a path in, and I also did the concrete slab under the station. I think I delete that in the end, just because originally this was obviously going to be me just building the first part. What am I talking about? This was just this was just going to be me this was going to be me doing the supports, the landscaping, and the paving. And then it was just going to be theming, like the station, transfer track, and fences and stuff in the next one. But later on, I realized, wait, these supports are taking way longer than I thought. I'm never going to get the paths done in this episode if I want it to be under, like, an hour. So, yeah, I ended up deleting the path later. But also, let me know if this video is too long. My last one was like 10 minutes, and I don't even think many people watched that. I'm not sure if that's just like the video wasn't good, but if you guys don't like a long video, I could cut this up way quicker, because I've got like every single time lapse of me building like every single support on this ride, but I could easily just like have it so it only shows me building 2 of them or something. So if you guys don't want that, I mean, YouTube analytics will tell me if people tap off in like the first minute, and then I've spent this whole time building this thing on time lapse for nobody to watch it, I won't do it again. But yeah, here I'm doing the second support structure on the lift hill. It looks off in the time lapse here that the gold doesn't. Can you see like the cross support, the smaller one? I'm not focusing on it at the moment where I'm building, but it's gold even in the bits where on the main support it's white, and I don't know why. I think maybe Thorpe got lazy with the painting. But it's like, you think every part of the coaster should just turn white at one point, but there's some supports that stay gold like the whole way, even though the track is white. It's kind of odd. Yeah, I think also off camera I need to go in and finish off these like bolts. I don't know what they're called. What's it called? A flange. Yeah, I need to go back into Planet Coaster and just completely add them to all the support structures, because honestly they're such a pain to add in, but like they're necessary to make it look realistic, and I haven't added in enough of them, I don't think. So like there'll be some supports where I've missed adding it. It's basically where the pieces of supports connect, because obviously they can't just ship like a giant 200-foot support structure from Germany. So the supports come in like sections ranging up to like, I don't know, like I feel like the biggest support's probably like 10 meters, maybe a bit more. It could be a bit more actually, but they don't get much bigger than that. Like, it's not because they've got to connect them all, and they can't ship it something that big. So that's where they're connected, is through those flanges, and then they bolt them together and whatnot. Yeah, this was probably the bit where I got the realization that these supports are like way more difficult than I thought they were. Because I would say, like, in terms of difficult, like complex supports, I feel like Gerstlauer is known to be the most like structurally odd support structures. Like, you look at like Karnen in Hansa Park, and I've never ridden it, but I've watched videos of it, and the support structure for that like element after the first drop out the castle, tower, whatever you want to call it, the support structure on that is insane. I mean, even just like the Smiler, the supports are really odd. Smiler doesn't go too tall, so the supports aren't like super complex, but it's still like, I feel like Gerstlauer is the most like complex support structures. And then behind that, I would say like the old Intermins, the new gen Intermins less so. I think, I'm trying to remember, because I rode Velocicoaster a few years ago now. I went in 2023. I haven't been back. I would love to go back, but I've done other trips instead. But the supports on that aren't like crazy or anything. Whereas I would say when you look at some of the old ones, especially the weird ones, like not Rita. Oh, I hate Rita. That was off topic, but I hate Rita. I can't wait for that thing to leave. But when you look at some of the odd coasters they've done, they have a inverted coaster in, I don't think it's Parque Warner. It's one of the Spanish parks. It's not Portaventura. It's one of the Spanish parks, and they have a Intermin invert. And there's like, they've got like a vertical loop on it, and the supports on it are just odd. Like, it looks like some weird like construction, like scaffolding, instead of an actual like support. But it's odd. But either way, what was I talking about? The Mac supports. Yeah, I think Hyperia's supports are incredibly complex. I mean, you look at like Icon, and I guess Voltron supports are they though? They're not that complex. I think like Voltron, Icon, what other Mac coasters are there? Storm Chaser at Poulton's Park. I'm trying to think of ones I've done. Slinky Dog Dash. Like, they all the supports are quite reminiscent of like B&Ms, because B&Ms have very simple supports. And I'd say they're all quite reminiscent of that. Whereas this Hyperia has just such odd supports, and I think it could be because they have such weird elements. It's definitely not the height, because that's another Mac I've done, Hypercoaster at Land of Legend in Turkey. I've done that, and so it's clearly not because of the height, because that doesn't have weird supports either. So I reckon it's just something to do with the fact that Hyperia has the weirdest, most odd banked elements like ever. But I don't know, it's just odd. I mean, it's fun to build, and it's really nice to look at. I think it's quite impressive. I love like a complex looking coaster. Like, I love just watching the Smiler go round, because it's just like there's always something to see. Even when a train's not going round, like, you can just look and there's like 10 different pieces of track right in your field of view. And you could kind of say that for Hyperia, but with supports. So if you like supports, you'll like Hyperia. What am I doing here? Well, I'm just doing more supports. I'm adding more flanges to the things. Well, while I do that, I may as well talk about something else. Let's talk about Universal UK. Because that got the green light a few days ago now. Wait, was it a few days ago? Might have been a week ago now. That got like the official green light, because I feel like I was under the impression that it was like it got the go ahead a few months ago, because there was that photo of Keir Starmer with the Universal head CEOs or whatever, and it was like with the map of the park, and I thought that was it, like, okay, it's confirmed, groundwork can start. And then I find out like a month ago maybe, there were videos of people being like, oh, Universal UK could still not happen. I was like, wait, what? Like, I thought that was it done. Like, I thought it was getting built 100%. And so all of a sudden I'm panicking. I'm like, oh crap. Like, because honestly, I'm gonna get a Universal season pass and then I'm scrapping this Merlin one, because I think Merlin has just been way too dominant in this industry for way too long. What do you call it? Like an oligopoly? A monopoly? I don't know what it's called. But, because they basically have no competition. Like, you think about parks that aren't owned by Merlin, and it's like Poulton's Park, Drayton Manor, and Blackpool. I'd say Blackpool's too far out of the way to really be much of a competition. It's definitely a bit of a competition, but I wouldn't say it's a huge competition. Poulton's Park's definitely too out of the way, and also I think Poulton's Park caters just to a completely different market. I love Poulton's Park, by the way. I can't wait for, I don't know what the coaster's called, but the Viking area to open, because I'll be there. I haven't been in over a year, so I didn't get to do Ghostly Manor either, so I'll be doing that as well. But I can't wait for that. But about the competition thing, so the only real competition they have is Drayton Manor, with, because that's near Birmingham. It's about like an hour away from Alton Towers, and even that, like, Drayton Manor's now gone down like the family route as well. So it's like Alton Towers and Thorpe Park and Chessington, and, you know, well, I guess it's like Alton Towers and Thorpe Park, and then Chessington and Legoland are kind of more similar to each other. But they've kind of just gotten away with not having to add new roller coasters because there's nobody else building new roller coasters. Like, it was 10 years between Hyperia being announced, not even being built, being announced, and Swarm. It was 12 between Hyperia actually opening and Swarm being built. Because, and like, you look at what like they're doing elsewhere in the world, like Europe and America, like, coasters are just constantly being built there. I get that there's more parks in America, but even if you compare it just to a singular park, what should we compare it to? I'm not going to compare it to Cedar Point because that's just on a different level. But if you compared it to, like, the Busch Gardens parks or the SeaWorld parks, right? You look at what Busch Gardens Williamsburg's added. So they added that wooden coaster, which I can't remember what it's called. It's that wooden family coaster. I cannot remember what that thing's called. I went to Busch Gardens Williamsburg, actually, but that was before that coaster opened. I went to Busch Gardens Williamsburg in, like, 2016, I think. But, so they added that wooden coaster. They then added Pantheon, and then they've now got the Big Bad Wolf, the Wolf's Revenge. Stupid name. Who the hell decided that was what it was going to be called? I don't know. But, it's such a bad name. They could have just called it the Wolf's Revenge. There was no need for the first bit. Like, who's saying at that park, oh, I can't wait to go ride Big Bad Wolf, the Wolf's Revenge? It's so dumb. But anyways, regardless of that, that's 3 coasters they've opened between Wicker Man being built and this year. So I don't even know if they had a coaster between 2018 and 2012 when Swarm was built, but it's just insane because it's not like Busch Gardens Williamsburg is some giant, like, world destination like Disney World is. Like, it makes sense that Disney World keeps adding coasters, or not even just coasters, but rides. Like, of course they're going to keep expanding, but there's some parks that I think, like, in terms of when you can make a comparison to Thorpe Park and Alton Towers, they're pretty similar, but the rate of investment is so much lower at Alton Towers and Thorpe Park. Because Alton Towers is constantly, like, it's rated quite highly amongst European parks. Like, people put that in their top 10 a lot. And then you look at what's against it, and those parks that are going against it are just constantly improving and constantly getting better than Alton Towers. And Alton Towers just keeps falling behind in the rankings. Like, it's unfortunate, really, because I'd say, like, 10 years ago, I mean, I was young then, so I didn't really know anything, but when I try and think about what it would be like, I feel like 10 years ago, Alton Towers was more caught up with at least the parks in Europe. Maybe the ones in America were already starting to go ahead. I mean, America's always been bigger on just thrill rides and less on theming, but I'd say Alton Towers was quite caught up with like like the European parks. But now it just feels like, you know, you've got Europa Park and you've got Fantasialand and Portaventura, and all these places are just starting to expand and expand. Wallaby Holland, like Wallaby Belgium, like they're all getting bigger and bigger and better than Alton Towers. And Alton Towers is just not responding to it. And I really hope that this Universal Park will finally like be enough for them to actually like invest a lot. I mean, what even happened to Project Horizon? You know, that indoor coaster that was going to be at the back by the Towers dungeon. What even happened to that? Like, did it literally just get replaced for this bluey coaster? I mean, it's great they've done another coaster for the tiny kids, but like, I feel like a part of me feels like they've kind of done it as well to take your attention off the fact that they've completely like gone silent. They've gone hush about this Project Horizon coaster, because there was that time when like they'd submitted planning permission. I'm pretty sure they got it, and everyone was speculating what it was going to be, and then you just had nothing more from it. Also, before I start talking about more stuff, just what's happening in the time lapse. You just saw me move the station, because I talked about that earlier in the video, how I had to move the station because the Immelman supports they were like intersecting with the station because I hadn't made the pre-lift go out enough. So I just moved the station and rebuilt the pre-lift. So it's not a big deal, but like it was definitely frustrating at the time. I was like debating. I was like, okay, do I make this just unrealistic, or do I redo this and just like kill myself while doing it? And so I decided, you know what, like I'm only doing this recreation once for Hyperia. I may as well go all out. Even if I hate myself while doing it, it'll be fine. But also, sorry for my voice. I'm losing my voice. I have a cold. I've had a cold for like a week now. It started with a sore throat, then it went to a runny nose and whatever, and that's like fine, normal. And now I've just had a cough for the past few days. Or not even like a cough at night. Oh my god, I cannot sleep. It is awful. I try and sleep and I'm just like coughing all night, and then I wake up with the worst sore throat ever. And it's like, oh my god. And I down a bottle of water and literally nothing changes. I'm still ill. And it's so bad. But I mean, Christmas is in a few days, so that's exciting. Oh my god, yeah, Christmas is in a few days. I actually like, sometimes there's these things and like they just don't sink in until it actually happens. I remember feeling that way about my trip to the US, the most recent one, when I went to Dollywood, Kings Island, and Cedar Point. I did those 3 parks, and I swear to god, it was the day before, and I was literally packing, and I was like, I can't believe I'm actually going. Like, it didn't feel real. Even when I was there, it didn't feel real until I actually like got on a coaster at Dollywood. And even now, like, I'm here and I'm like, I can't believe I went to Dollywood. Also, I highly recommend, if you can get there, go there. I would say I preferred Dollywood to Kings Island. It's hard to compare Cedar Point to Dollywood because it's difficult because Dollywood has the nicer atmosphere, but can you really compare a nice atmosphere to like the most insane coasters in the world? Like, it's hard to compare those 2 parks. I definitely felt more like, I don't know, comfortable and at peace, I guess you would say, in Dollywood. But then, like, who doesn't want to see Top Thrill 2, like the 400-foot coaster just off in the distance, you know what I mean? But yeah. Also, I was thinking about doing a top 50 or top 25, maybe even just top 10 coasters of 2025. Just like, not even because like nobody's gonna watch this, right? Hardly anyone's gonna watch this. Hardly anyone's gonna watch a top 10 coasters of 2025, especially my ranking. Like, nobody even knows who I am. So that it's not about getting subscribers, but it's more just doing it for the fact, like, I feel like it'd be a nice thing to look back on in a few years and be like, oh, that's my top 10. How much has it changed? You know what I mean? Like, just like as a placeholder. Because I'm awful at ranking my coasters, so I just don't often. Like, my top 3 is constantly changing. And also because it depends on my mood. Because I don't know what I would like more. Like, it's so hard to compare some coasters. Like, it's impossible for me to decide whether I prefer, like, Top Thrill 2 or Lightning Rod. Like, it's just so difficult to decide which one's better because they're so different in so many ways. But anyways, regardless of that, if anybody is watching this at this point, Let me know if you want a top 10 or a top 20, top 50, top 1000. I'm joking, I haven't done 1,000 coasters. I've done like, how many have I done? I think I've done like 150. I've definitely got a decent amount, but I have not done 1,000. But let me know if anybody's watching this, if you want that. But also, like, I'm prepared to see like 0 comments, because I mean, I said in the last video, like, oh, let me know if you want like to do more recreations or blah blah blah, and then I got like 4 likes on the video and 0 comments. I mean, not complaining, because what the hell, like, did I expect for my first video? But also, like, I feel like I need to stop saying things like, guys, let me know, because there is no guys. I mean, who am I even talking to right now? Like, hardly anybody's probably watching this, right? That's kind of weird to think about. Like, imagine, like, nobody watches this and I'm just talking to myself. Anyways. Okay, that's, like, really off topic. What should I talk about? So I talked about Universal. I'm going to go a bit more into Universal, actually. Okay, so there's that concept art of the park. I'm going to pull that up right now, because I'm going to get that up, because I want to talk about the different lands, because there's a certain area of the park where I'm just, like, kind of disappointed. And I think it's the right section of the park. Yeah, it's the right section of the park. Okay, so I've got the map up here. Okay, so you enter, you got that city walk there. That bit looks really nice. I love the look of that hotel. I'm so glad they didn't do it over the entrance like Disneyland Paris and... Is it the one in Shanghai? No. Beijing, I think? The new Universal, the one that opened in China. I think it's Beijing. Where the hotel's over the entrance. I'm so glad they didn't do that. I hate it when a hotel's over the entrance. I feel like it ruins the... like, the grand feel. Like, of course it looks grand, but it just kind of, to me, feels like it blocks the view and it makes the rest of the park feel a bit small. I don't know. Like, I'm glad they did it off to the side, because I don't like the idea of being over the entrance, but I'm glad they've put it off to the side. You got that city walk, and then you got this gorgeous lake. I'm so glad they did a lake. Islands of Adventure, I've been once. The lake there, so pretty. And that view when you enter and you see, like, Hulk's Cobra roll off to the left, and you see Velocicoaster in the back, and then you can see the Hogwarts castle in the back right as well. Like, I just love a lake in a park, because it just allows you to see everything. Like, I think about, like, Epcot. Like, it's so nice when you get to that section of Epcot where you've gone through that front half of the park, which I don't like. That front half of the park, to me, is very ugly. Because why... What even is the theme? It's like a mess. It's like, is it futuristic? Is it just IPs? And then you've got the odd, like, shopping center looking Soarin' section. Like, what even are they doing? But then the World Showcase is, like, gorgeous. World Showcase is so nice. It's like, it reminds me a lot of Europa Park, but in a different way. I feel like the World Showcase at Epcot is more, this is what it's like immerse yourself in this country's, like, theming, whereas Europa Park is ride this ride to the country's theming. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I'm not saying Europa Park isn't immersive, because it's very immersive, right? But there's still a difference between Epcot and Europa Park. And I'd say my main issue with Europa Park is it feels they don't have, like, a centerpiece that you can make your way around with. Like, I kind of, towards the end of, like, I went there for 3 days. No, 4 days. 3.5, because the 4th day I travelled back, but I went there in the morning. I feel like they lack something where you can see it from almost everywhere in the park and be like, okay, that's where I am. Because, like Epcot, you've got the lake. Alton Towers is a bit different because they've got the gardens, but, like, Alton Towers is different because the lands are so obvious and there's, like, 4 of them, so it's like, you know where you are, right? And then Magic Kingdom, you've got the castle. Islands of Adventure, you've got the lake. Like, I just think for the size that Europa Park is, sometimes it feels like you just get lost. And it's nice to feel immersed in that way. Like, you're like, oh my god, I don't know where I am, but it's so pretty and I feel so cozy. Like, that's true. But there's some parts of the park where I'm just like, wait, where even is this? And what is it even doing here? Like, there's that lake by the Austria area, and I'm just like, what am I doing here? But, yeah. Okay, so then, back to Universal. I need to get better at this. I like, keep going off topic. I feel like somebody, if anybody's listening to this, I feel like you must think I'm like mentally insane or something, because like I just can't even like talk about one thing for 2 minutes without going on to the next thing. But we're going back to Universal. We're going to talk about that again. Okay, then you go left. Then you got this weird tiny kids area. I think I saw someone saying this is Paddington. I don't really care. If it's Paddington, go Paddington. Like, I don't really care. Like, it's a kids area. Probably wouldn't spend much time in there anyways. I feel like Paddington's a good fit. It's like a UK theme. It works. It's unique. You know, it's like a draw for international visitors. Because, like, the thing is, Universal UK is going to want to find some... Wait, Universal UK or is it Universal Great Britain? I don't know, but they're going to want to find attractions that aren't in America, or especially not in the Orlando one, because there's such a big, like, draw for people from the UK to go to the American parks, and they're going to want that same effect for the people in America to come to the UK park. So that's why, like, you know, you see people being like, oh, I hope they build Velocicoaster in the Universal Great Britain, and it's like, they're just not going to, because the amount of people that travel to Orlando to ride Velocicoaster is way bigger than you think. And so if they build it here, that is so many people lost going to Universal Orlando. So actually, if they just build something from, like, maybe something cloned from China, you know, both UK and US are unlikely to have been to Universal Beijing, so they're obviously going to build that instead. So I think Paddington would be good here, because it'll be a draw for international people. Then, okay, this is my most exciting bit, I think, is the Back to Future area. I think I've watched the movie, like, ages ago, but honestly, I can't remember. I was really young. I'll probably watch it again at some point when closer to the park opens, because I want to build hype or whatever, but I'm just excited for this, for the roller coaster. I cannot wait. I have wanted, like, a multi-launch in the UK for so long, and by a multi-launch, I'm not talking about, like, Icon. I'm talking about a multi-launch with, like, a swing launch. You know, Pantheon and stuff. Like, what? Oh, and what's it called? Tutatis at Park Asterix. There's another one as well, but I can't think of that right now. Oh, and then also Top Thrill 2. Yeah, Top Thrill 2. I loved the swing launch on that. I've always thought swing launches are so fascinating. So, like, I'm really happy about the fact they're doing a swing launch there. Or at least it looks like it from the concept art. If there's no swing launch, I'm going to throw hands with someone from the Universal team. Okay, I need a swing launch. Also, I think the theming of this area will be nice. I think it'll be, like, everything that Universal do, I know the theming will be good. Like, the theming won't be bad. But there's certain areas, there's certain themes which I just like more. Like, I'm a big fan, which leads me on to the next thing, which is the Jurassic World area. I'm a big fan of a, like, tropical jungle kind of theme. I'm trying to think, like, I don't like Colossus, right? The coaster I hate, but I really like that area with, like, the Aztec theming. I think it's a really nice area, to be honest. And honestly, if they just retracked Colossus and gave it lap bars, like, I'm serious, like, I feel like it would actually be pretty decent. Like, they don't have to replace it. Just give it lap bars and give it maybe a retrack in the rough spots, like the bit before the corkscrew and maybe, like, the Cobra Roll. But I don't know, like, it's just, like, there's certain areas that are nicer to be in. Like, if I try to think of, like, an area that I don't like being in, I don't like being in the Hyperia area. That sounds stupid, because that's literally the recreation I'm doing right now. So why the hell would I do that? Because I like the roller coaster, but I don't like being in that area. I'm sorry, it feels overwhelming. Like, it's like, and it just feels ugly. Like, why is everything yellow? Like, the paths are yellow, the fence is yellow. I get it's gold, I get that's the theme, but it just feels like there is no theme. Like, I get it's a stylized look, but the style doesn't even look nice. Like, you can do stylized and look nice. I think about Siren's Curse at Cedar Point. That is stylized and still looks nice. I mean, it's got hardly any theming, Siren's Curse, but it looks nice, right? It's presented well. I think Hyperia would be way better off being presented in a way where it's more nature focused. Or not nature focused, but just more planting and all that. Like, I remember 3 years ago when it was just the planning permission that was put out. I think it was Theme Park Warren, that Planet Coaster guy. I don't know if he still posts, but he did a recreation of like Project Exodus when it was called that. Oh my god, that's weird. I forgot that it was called that. But he did a recreation of it, and I looked at that recently because I was like, I wonder how he did some of these things, like, because obviously it was different when it was just planning permission. And I looked at it and I was like, wow, like that area, we didn't even know what the theme was going to be. We didn't know what the color scheme was going to be, but his recreation looks better than the coaster in real life because there's trees. Like, there's no trees at Hyperia. There's nothing. Like, it's just like, it's dirt. I mean, okay, you got a few shrubs like randomly scattered throughout the queue line, but it's just dirt. And then the queue music is played so loudly. It's like I'm just stood in that queue and I'm like, there's nothing to look at other than the roller coaster. Get me out of here. There's probably some like random group of people next to me like shouting and vaping. Then on the other side of me you've got like a couple who won't stop kissing, and it's like, I just want a nice themed area. Do you know what I mean? But like, it's just like there's some areas which feel nicer as a themed area than others. Vikings, blah blah blah, like there's nicer ones. I also really like Tornado Springs at what's it called, Poulton's Park. I like that area. That area is really nice actually. But back to Universal, you've got the, I think people think it's going to be the Jurassic World ride from Beijing. Oh, before I go into that, I want to talk about the support structure on the coaster right now. The bit that I've just built where the train is upside down, I've made that too close together. So I think if a rider was actually going to ride that, they'd get like decapitated and they'd like, their hands would not exist anymore. So I'm gonna have to redo that bit and just move it out slightly. It's gonna be painful, but I've got to do it because it's unrealistic. Like, the clearance on it is completely off. I don't know how I didn't realize that when building this, but you kind of notice it a bit in the POV, so watch out for that. Or maybe don't watch out for that, because then it makes my recreation look bad. Yeah, don't watch out for that. But anyways, Universal. So we think that dock ride's gonna be the one from Beijing that they built in Beijing. You know, the one with like the T-Rex animatronic that's supposedly like extremely realistic. I've heard that's really good. So honestly, if it's that, I'll be happy. And then you've got this weird green roller coaster, which I have no idea what it is. Like, well, obvious. Oh my god, that was a stupid thing to say because nobody has any idea what any of this is. What a dumb thing to say. Anyways, okay. What I think it is though is, so I've seen people think it's like a family coaster, right? And I could see that, but it's like the way it goes all the way out to the water. Like, I could see it being like a winged coaster, or, you know, a flyer, maybe. In terms of what manufacturer this looks like, it looks like a B&M. I don't want to say anything, but like, I just think the supports look very B&M. And that even just the layout, like the out and back feel to it, looks very B&M. But then there's certain elements on it. Like, I get that they're not gonna just reveal the entire layout because they want to keep some things as like secrets. But, and obviously it's probably not set in stone what this ride even is. But it just looks odd. It's like that first drop, it's like, it looks like a wing over drop, but then it'd be weird to do a wing coaster with Thorpe Park so nearby. So I almost hope they don't do that. I remember when it first got released, this planning permission, I actually thought this was going to be a clone of Flying Dinosaur at Universal Tokyo? Yeah, Universal Tokyo. I thought it was going to be a clone of Flying Dinosaur, which honestly, if it is, I will be happy. Because I've never ridden that, but everyone raves about it. So if it's that, go Great Britain, I guess. Then you got that show in the back. That was going to be the stunt show. Can't remember what that's called because I never watched it. I'm not a big show person. I just like don't see the appeal, really. I mean, it's fun. Like, if I'm forced to go, I'll go. Like, if someone was like, would you rather stay home or watch this stunt show, I'll watch the stunt show. But if someone was like, would you rather ride this roller coaster or watch a show, I'm gonna ride the roller coaster, right? So we'll just move on from that one. Then you've got this weird bit, the like dark section. I saw people saying they thought this was Lord of the Rings. I really hope it's not, honestly. There's other options though that would be worse, because I remember there's like that building that you can kind of make out, and someone said it looked like the building from the Shrek building, like the cafe or tavern, whatever it's called in the Shrek movie. Listen, I like Shrek, but please don't let this be a Shrek area. Like, I don't want a Shrek land to be one of the main like, fine, give me a Shrek land as the kids land, but like, if we're talking about sacrificing like a Harry Potter area or a Lord of the Rings area, even though I don't even like Lord of the Rings, if we're talking about sacrificing that for a Shrek land, I will murder Universal. Okay, ideally I want a dark universe area here, but I don't know how realistic that is. I think it's 2 rides in this section. Either it's 2 rides or it's one like indoor area with like a restaurant, I don't know, but I hope it's a dark universe section. Feel like that might not be it, so I might be like optimistic about that, but regardless, please just like, don't be Shrek. I don't want to get hate for that, because like, guys, I like Shrek too, but I don't want a Shrek land, especially not when you've also got right next to it a Minions land. So we've already got a family like leaning area with the Minions land. We don't need Shrek. In terms of the Minions land, I don't really care for it, honestly. Whatever. My main hope with the Minions land is that they clone the is it the Secret Life? Yeah, the Secret Life of Pets ride from Universal Hollywood, and I hope they clone it and put it here, because I don't want it to just be Minion Mayhem, because Minion Mayhem's not that good. So I hope they have at least another dark ride here. And then, yeah, that's about it, isn't it? Oh, there's that little building that people say look like the Jaws shark, but it doesn't look like there's any space for there to be a full ride in there. I'm not sure whether they've just like done that on purpose so that it's like a surprise and we get Jaws. Would love it if we got Jaws, but yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I'll stop talking about Universal UK for now. I'm nearing the end of this time lapse actually. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this. I also hope you haven't like muted the video because you don't want to hear me talk. So if that's true, please let me know, but so I won't talk anymore. But if you've enjoyed this, please give it a like, subscribe, whatever, do what you want. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next part. Bye.